I was doing a show while that happened. Got off the show. I looked at the video of the shooter running down the hall and so forth. And then people seemed to be engaging that shooter as he ran by them. And we heard the shots. I counted 5 shots, one, and then several shots close together as if someone was rapid firing from a pistol. So, from my background as a Navy SEAL, been to dozens of shooting schools. I taught shooting in the SEAL teams, very high level shooting, close quarter combat in buildings and so forth. You have to be very, very accurate with your shooting. I was at SEAL Team 6, where you had to be extremely a good shot at SEAL Team 6 because we would, go after terrorists and so forth who could be in close proximity to hostages. So we had to be expert at, shooting. And, since then, I've done many courses where I've taught shooting to, the private community and so forth for a long time. So I'm very skilled at weaponry and shooting and all that stuff. So when I looked at the videos, just looking at it and coming to a conclusion that there seems to be some anomalies that we need to discuss. All right. So let's look at the videos, the news, how it's presented, and then an overall picture of the events of that night as well, and try and get to some kind of conclusion of what's going on here. All right. So here's the overall, news of last night. So you can hear the shots. I'm gonna back it up again, and let's listen to the shots.
Fact.
All right. So you hear the first shot, and then there's going to be a rapid succession of shots.
This morning
So I count 5 total, and one, and then a very slight pause, and then 3 to 4 rapid, or 3 rapid, and then 2 separate shots. So 5 total that I can hear. If there were more, I can't hear them. Maybe they're in back rooms or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, you can see there's not a lot of movement at the front. It almost seems like maybe Melania and this other gentleman that's up here may have, maybe they're seeing the people that are moving. Maybe they heard the shots, but we're going to see it from a couple of different angles. It seems like they didn't respond to those shots initially. So let's move on.
investigators are working to piece together what led up to the gunfire at the Washington Hilton. According to D.C. police, just after 8:30 Saturday night, a gunman charged a Secret Service checkpoint armed with a handgun, a shotgun. According to D.C. police, just after 8:30 Saturday night,
you guys are this is a projection here, is what I'm getting at. This is what I'm seeing. So let's break this down a little bit more. Let's look at some more angles. Let's look at some more of this and see if we can come to some conclusions about what exactly is going on here. So the engagement that I showed you guys there, as far as the shooting, it's a huge red flag, right? Huge. Now let's look at some more.
So I was making a video and I got a DM from Mustang Debbie that said that President Trump had just been rushed out of that White House Correspondents' Dinner. And I want you to listen to this because I rewind it, and around this time, you're going to hear like 3 shots. And then people are going to start ducking down and they're going to get President Trump out of there. Listen closely.
All right. So again, there were 3 fast shots and then one followed by another. So I count 5. Some people are going to, because they're fast, some people are going to get different numbers, but that's what I'm saying. Now I want you to watch them when you start to hear the sound of the gunfire.
Here's Trump.
All right, so the first big thud, and then the multiple rounds after that. Now, as you see, they don't seem to be reacting to it. Now, the people that are further back here, of course, the camera's back here, so they may not have heard it. They may not have heard it, right? And then people start to react here from those shots because they're closer to the action.
You hear that? And then they start running. Hold on, I want you to play it. I want to play it again. All right, here we go. And now we see people running. And Trump he's oblivious of what's going on.
All right, so now you see Melania look, because people are jumping up. So again, you know, he said he heard the shots. President Trump went in. He talked later. He thought maybe something in the back of trays or something had dropped. That was his response to that. Of course, he's not trained, you know, to hear gunshots. He's probably been around. I don't know. Maybe as he was in military academy, you would think maybe he would, you know, gunfire, but he's been shot at it several times supposedly. So I don't know. All right, so you see this one guy is getting right in front of the president. These guys back here, it's almost like they don't understand. They're not even aware of what's going on. So the information, it should have been right away. Someone on their radio would have broadcast guns, 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 right? Weapons or whatever they use these days, whatever they have. Because for us, an extremity would have been in SEAL teams. SEAL Team 6, we said tuna, 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 which is basically everything's on. So at that point, the Secret Service should have like taken Trump way before this, right? Way before this. So this is another red flag to me because I've been involved with, you know, moving what we call high value targets, which is like presidents and ambassadors and so forth. So I'm skilled in that. I've done that for years. I've done it in combat zones. So this is another red flag. So these guys are like standing there wondering what to do, right? There is no wondering what to do. So if the radio call should have gone out instantly as the shots are fired, it should have been shots fired. And then the president they either jump on him and get him down initially. And then once they figured out, you know, it's safe to move him, then they get up and move him. All right. So this is kind of jumble. So again, another red flag to me as far as like his Secret Service detail. So I've had a lot of friends, SEALs, high-level SEALs that have worked in Secret Service. And so this is very suspect to me because I know they're very, very, very well trained. Of course, they haven't been paid in a couple of months. I don't know. Maybe they just got the B team in there, but so I don't know. But there's an anomaly here. See how long this takes? So, I mean, everybody up here, if everybody's responding in the crowd before the Secret Service does, that should tell you right there, something is definitely off here. All right, sounds like this guy, I think they probably started telling everybody to get down. Looks like Melania got down, right? I don't think President Trump, did. They had to get him up and start moving him. So you see everybody getting down. Caroline Ledet got down. Now you see, the Secret Service guys probably that are military or whatever they got there. They're coming in with the big guns, right? So that's a long time. That's way, way too long. If I was in charge of this detail, I'd have been kicking some serious ass here afterwards. All right, super sloppy. All right, super sloppy. So again, another red flag. Now let's look a little bit more detail. I pulled up one. This is CBS News, where they have the shooter running down the hall. Let me see if I can play with this one a little bit. Maybe you guys a better view on that one. So again, you can see that people are engaging with the shooter as he's running, but he keeps running. All right. So again, here's the police officer, I believe. Why is it blurry? Another red flag, right? Why is it blurry? And why can't I find now all of the videos that I saw before I went to bed that I could play with? And I was like, okay, I should have saved them, of course, but who knows? Maybe they're not around anymore. So this blurry video is very suspect as well. There should be tons of videos. We should have all kinds of videos, because this they would have had surveillance on this so much, and the fact that the guy made it through the metal detector down the hall with his guns. There should have been like whistles and everything going off, and before he even got there. So it's super suspect, the whole thing. All right, so you can hear, it sounds like there's guys in a probably video surveillance room that are talking. So you can hear them talking. And here's the guy coming down the hall. So it's, what are these guys doing? What's this guy doing? So she's looking. She should already be drawing at this point. So when he came around that corner and started running with the weapon out, she should have been yelling, weapon, 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 and as she's drawing and engaging. So this is slow movement right here as well. And it could be level of training. I don't know. So anyway, she's bringing her gun up now. And hopefully I can get her flashes on her weapon. All right, so right there, looks like she engaged once. That might have been the first shot we heard. And then rapid succession. You see the flashes on her weapon right there. Boom, boom, boom. Right? And this guy's like ducking. And he's all discombobulated. So why didn't you run and tackle him? Why didn't you block him? Why didn't any of these people block that guy from running down the hall? All right, another red flag. And again, as someone in charge of security, I would have been chewing some serious ass, but I don't know. These guys were like, everybody's like, saying what a great job they did. I don't think so, right? I think it's bullshit. I think they fucked up bad. If this is real, which I don't think it is, right?
Shall I post it as soon as he passed down?
18, go for
All right, see all those guys with guns? Wow. Where were you guys when this guy was running down the hall with your guns? All right. So now I can armchair quarterback guys because I have the experience and the knowledge and the background, right? So yes, I wasn't there, but I can see. I've got two eyes to see, and so can you guys. So make your own assessments. All right, let's look at another one. This is Donna Bradenberg. She's looking at this on X and making comments as well. So her comments are, what's wrong with this picture? Right? There is no actual authentic reaction, almost like it was scripted. The men around President Trump are looking around, not reacting to protect the president. There is no chance that Secret Service would have reacted this way. I agree. Now you're going to see it's almost like a training. Looks more like training to me. This Secret Service agent is like pulling the vice president's chair out. He's watching, to see if there's a threat. He should already be, tackling him down. And then you move once you know that everything is safe. So he's moving him. He's behind him. And if there's somebody that's out here that has a gun and is shooting, then he's dead. So you always, in a protective detail, you get yourself between the threat and your protective detail or your protectee. All right, so you see he's pulling his chair out. He's going to grab him, and he's going to start to move him. All right. So this is what you do. You take control of your protectee, and you move him, and you put yourself, as you're moving him, between the threat. You have body armor on, and so forth. So before that, not so good. All right, but at this point, good. All right, so you see other Secret Service, crowding around. Now it's going to pan back over to President Trump. All right, so again, you see these guys like, what do we do? What do we do? I wasn't trained for this. I don't know what my job function is, right? Sad. All right, so now to get him moving. All right, I don't know if he tripped and went down or they took him down. All right, that was real sloppy. All right, so he shouldn't have tripped. You have your hands on him. You could literally carry him. You should be able to literally carry him if you need to. So there's no reason for him to have fallen right there or have gone down if they took him down. So you got this press lady that's, I don't know, she's trying to help out or what, but so these guys are so clumsy. All right, so now you got the crowd around him, which is the way it should have been right from the beginning. When those shots were heard, there should have been a flood of Secret Service agents all over him. Sloppiness. Totally looks staged. Totally staged to me. So, my professional opinion. Now you see the press lady. She's crawling out, staying down. Good job. All right. No one's helping her. She's just she's on her own. Okay, so looking at that, you should be able to get to the point where, yeah, there's something wrong here. Shots are fired at the guy as he's running, but he keeps running. And the shots are fired and no fast response from Secret Service. Very sloppy, very slow, very methodical, very movie scripted like, right? So not very impressive, right? So again, if I was, ahead of that, that would have happened to begin with. But if I was ahead of that somewhere else, not there, right? I would have been like, what the hell did you guys do? You guys all suck bad. We're going to go. I would have fired them all. I'd fired them all. I was like, I don't know what happened to you guys, or you are not up to this task. There was a threat, and you should have been all over it, and you moved slow, confused. I'd fire them all. I'd fire them all. Right. So let's look at some more aspects of this. Now, numbers. Now, the Jesuits. I know this is where we go off on a different tangent a little bit here. But, the Jesuits basically control everything, right? I'm hoping that we're breaking free from that system. I don't know what I just saw here. That makes me very skeptical, unfortunately. But the Jesuits basically control everything. They control Israel. A lot of people are like, this is all Israel dominated. The mystic guy that was going to come out, and he was talking to President Trump right there. He's Israeli. So everybody's like, oh, it's all about Israel. No, Israel is controlled by the Jesuits too, guys. All right. If you've heard Leo Zagami on my show, he basically spells it all out. It's all Jesuit control stuff, right? So let's look at a little bit more of this, where we go into the gematria. Because gematria in these events, when you start to see it, like the red flags that I saw, as far as like, the Secret Service, got shots being fired at that guy as he's running by, all these different things makes me skeptical and makes me go bullshit, right? Now we go to another level with it, and you start to see other things further down, deeper, and you go, okay, this was a stage event, right? So let's look at numbers games with Zachary Hubbard. He goes into the gematria of all these different events. We can see, what's going on when we look at the gematria. It's all planned, all staged.
Well, my daughter was up, so I couldn't do a really thorough decode, but we already nailed it enough. This is going the extra mile and proving beyond a shadow of a doubt how contrived this is, how planned it is, how it is no doubt the work of the federal government. We're going to see how this pays perfect tribute to the Reagan assassination, March 30th, 1981, at the same Washington Hilton. They're already
all right, so right there, it's the same Washington Hilton where the assassination attempt was done on Reagan. And you remember Brady was shot, and he's going to go into Brady. Now it's the Brady press room now, Brady press room. And they said multiple times President Trump was going to brief in the Brady press room. Now watch and see the numbers, the 33 degree Mason, right? 33 jumps in here all over the place.
This to the Luigi Mangione shooting outside the Midtown Hilton Hotel. Luigi Mangione, who assassinated the United Healthcare CEO reportedly, and I pointed out the day that happened, that was at the hotel where Trump was for the 2016 U.S. presidential election, the 47-story Midtown Hilton Hotel.
All right, so they're making references to that shooting. And as you just heard, that Hilton Hotel, Midtown Hilton Hotel in New York, has 47 stories. President Trump is the 47th president right now. So you're going to see these numbers all over the place. And when you start to see the numbers, you're like, okay, we see what this is.
It really is amazing how they put all this together. But again, we're going to look at, Reagan shooter John Hinckley, how John Hinckley did it to impress Jodie Foster. We're going to get in the JFK piece. But we're going to look at this supposed teacher, Cole Thomas Allen. Of course, the supposed shooter at Butler, Pennsylvania, was also a Thomas, which means twin. And we have related rituals here. You could almost say twin rituals. We're going to put it all together, and then we're going to go back and look at how 10 years ago, I was talking about the coming Trump assassinations and a very specific number, 115, like how today's the 115.
So that's what you can do with gematria. You can predict future events if you know the gematria of the deep state, the Jesuits, how they basically control a lot of these events through numbers. They stage them so that they happen on certain dates. So they, line up with different numbers that they use to make themselves like gods, right? So God, basically, when things happen, they happen on a level that's just incredible. It's unbelievably mystic. It's spiritual. They try to harness that through manipulation of numbers. So that's what we're going to see here as Zach's going to, play it out.
Day of the year. And if Ronald Reagan were alive, he'd be 115 years old. Of course, he died 22 years ago at age 93. And go figure that today is exactly 93 weeks after the Butler, Pennsylvania shooting. And again, we're going to put it all together. There are so many layers to this, but it really is something else. And again, if you're new here, let me just pull up this calculator. Cole Allen is the shooter. If you're new here, what you see are 4 numerical values for the name Cole Allen, and we call these the base ciphers of the English language. Almost everyone instantly thinks this is stupid when they see this. It's just some sort of a programmed reaction, I would refer to it as, for everybody to almost react the same way. And it's sad because that shouldn't be the reaction. It should be curiosity, intrigue. Tell me more. I want to know why this is relevant.
So when you pull up a gematria nator, that's one of the things that's out there on the internet, gematria nator. You put in names, numbers, and so forth. It's going to give you, gematria numbers like he's pointing out right here. Now, all these numbers that are displayed right here, he's going to go through each one of them and how they all line up with different numbers and events that are happening on this day and throughout history, manipulated history.
And some instant know-it-all, oh, that's dumb. Again, these are the 4 base ciphers of the English language, and they really do reveal everything about propaganda every single day. Again, the 4 base ciphers, the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. The alphabetic order with numerology. A is 1 up to Z is 26, but applying numerology to each letter. So Z, for example, the 26th letter becomes 8 because 2 plus 6 is 8. Y, the 25th letter, 2 plus 5 is 7. X, the 24th letter, 2 plus 4 is 6. XXX, 666. The other ciphers are just running the alphabetic order in reverse. Z is 1 back to A is 26 in the reverse alphabetic order with numerology. These 4 values of Cole Allen's name. Trump is 79 years old right now. 79 is the signature of the people who are responsible for the calendar and the language, and that is the Society of Jesus, which equates to 79. Their leader is Arturo Sosa, born November 12th. Today is 164 days after his birthday. As for the 34, today's 34 days before JFK's birthday anniversary, which is also the same day that John Hinckley was born, May 29th. John Hinckley is who shot Reagan, supposedly. Again, we're talking about 2 Hollywood actors, Trump and Reagan, who both ran on Mega, who have all kinds of parallels. But yeah, today's 34 days before May 29th. Again, John Hinckley, the Reagan shooter, which is also being brought up tonight as they talk about this. And then, the 47 should go out without saying, not to mention they're comparing this to the assassination outside the 47-story Midtown Hilton Hotel. And we're going to talk about a lot here, but if you've been watching CNN tonight, Van Jones is dressed up literally like the Joker.
So Van Jones dressed up as the Joker. So I had to look that up. I was like, what? And Van Jones is wearing the purple jacket of the Joker. And so let's see what Van Jones looks like on this day, or last night. And there you see him in the purple Joker jacket. Let's see what he says right here.
No, which is that the shooter survived, which means on Monday he's going to court.
So the shooter survives. Van Jones is very distraught because he thinks the people are gonna play this out and so forth, and which they will, of course. Both sides are gonna play this out. But you see here the Joker. If you don't remember the Joker's jacket, there he is, purple jacket. All right, now let's see what else we have to say about this. Now, Zach is not a fan of Donald Trump. He sees the gematria, the Jesuit stuff, And so he's critical of people that are connected with it, that seem to be instigating it. I am not of that. I believe in President Trump still. I don't completely know why this, lines with him. Is he really involved with the Jesuits, or is he playing along so that he can eventually take them down, which I believe, but we'll see going forward.
Like the Joker from Batman. And of course, Trump said numerous times, I am Batman. And when Trump was on trial in New York during Passover and he compared himself to Jesus, they did that right after they filmed the latest Joker scene in the same courtroom. Today is International Penguin Day. We love the Penguins today in hockey, just for the record.
All right, International Penguin Day. That was the 25th, yesterday, of course, last night. And here it is. World Penguin Day 2026, April 25th, right? And look how those penguins are dressed. Tuxedos. Interesting, right? So a lot of tuxedos were on last night. We saw those tuxedos. We'll show those a little bit further in. But let's listen to more Zach and basically revealing some more.
Because again, you got rigged to this. The Penguins won their game today 4-2, win of the year. And of course, Penguin in the Batman series is known for wearing a bow tie. Again, that might seem like a stretch to a new person here. It's not. Today, we torch the world of sports like we often do. Again, it's how a lot of us have enhanced our lives. I have all kinds of haters in the world who are jealous of what I've accomplished. I've been up all day. I helped the community people make a ton of money off rig sports today, and I've been up all day decoding the news, taking care of family, doing a million different things. It is sad the lack of respect I get from the world.
All right, so I've done this as well. Many years ago, I basically told you a game that was the Super Bowl. I said exactly who was going to win and who was going to be the MVP. It happened just as I said. I even put money down on it. I told everybody who's putting money down on it. I wish they put a lot more money down on it, but I won big. But I don't play that game, right? I played it just to show everybody, and I don't go into that. I don't go into the stocks knowing the gematria of it. I just go in because I'm trying to make a lot of money on silver, right? So I do silver miner stocks. I don't bet or go into any other thing, even though I know gematria is that can be utilized. Gematria can be utilized to predict a lot of things, like sports and so forth. But I don't want to dirty myself with that, right? So Zach, he puts, I don't know what he does, if he does, bet himself, but he puts it out there so that other people can bet. So that's one of the reasons why maybe you follow Zach, because he can help you make some money.
What I do every single day, grinding early until evening time and putting out nothing but undeniable truth that sadly most people just shun in an instant, which is the greatest mistake you could ever make, because it helps you see through the propaganda and you can take advantage of this knowledge with the rig sports and the rig market. Day after day, day after day after day. So anyway, let's go through this Cole Allen thing, and then let's talk about everything else, including Oz Perlman.
All right. So right here, you see this guy. Basically what they do is they have you take your shirt off, or they take it off so that, no hidden weapons. Of course, he had all kinds of weapons. He had a pistol. He had knives. So that's probably why they have him shirtless. Doesn't look like he's wounded to me. And if he was wounded, they would have treated him, triaged him or whatever, compared to the other guy that was shot. Triage meaning, the person with the most serious wounds would have gotten transported, dealt with the first. But looks like there's nothing wrong with this guy, right? It's a mystery, right? No, it's staged, right? So that's what I think. So no wounds on this guy. I've seen him from different angles. You can go look at him. There's lots of video out there that shows him lying there, moving around like he's fine. There was one point where they said that he had also been transported to the hospital for injuries. I don't know why, because I'm looking at him, doesn't look like he's wounded at all. All right. And Secret Service agent that was, I guess, shot. Was he shot by, all the people that were shooting, trying to hit this guy? Maybe they missed. I don't know. But that's what I'm looking at, guys. There's nothing there. So he died. He's 31. He didn't die, unless you listen to some other reports. He died, but 31. Of course, Charlie Kirk was 31 when he died. So maybe they changed their mind. They were going to kill him, but decided not to. I don't know. So you can make your own assessment, like I said. But all the information is there that this is a staged event.
Mentalist, the Israeli. A lot of people say, oh, see, it's Israel that did it. And remember, Israel's controlled by the same Jesuits that the U.S. is controlled by. And again, if you doubt the Jesuits control the U.S. because you don't know anything about history, the whole reason the capital is where it is in Washington, D.C. is because of the Jesuits. Notice Cole Allen, said to be 31 years old like Charlie Kirk, right? And remember, all these things are synced with the 31st Superior General of the Jesuits, okay? The 31st Superior General of the Jesuits. Yeah, again, Cole Allen's 79 and 47 in these ciphers like we talked about. Trump is 79 years old. He's number 47. Today would be the 79th day of Ronald Reagan's age, who would be 115 years old. And here we are on the 115th day of the year. And you can rewind to what I showed you on the July 13th, 2024 shooting hoax, how it was 115 days before the election on November 5th, 115, the day in history the Jesuits tried to assassinate King James, but failed. And remember, in 2016, when Trump had his convention in Cleveland, like Grover Cleveland, the only split-term president until Trump. But Trump had his convention in Cleveland right after LeBron won the finals on the real King James's birthday, June 19th, 2016 for the 216. Again, all this stuff is one big joke. That was for the 58th U.S. presidential election, like the real King James died at 58. But anyway, think about it. The 115th day of the year, while Reagan would be 115 years old if he were alive. Just think about it. Just think about how perfect that is. And again, the big number with the Jesuits is 201. Today's 201 days to the Superior General's upcoming birthday. Today's 164 days after his last birthday, like Cole Allen. And again, 34 days to John Hinckley's birthday, which is also JFK's birthday anniversary, May 29th. Again, all four of the base ciphers clearly coming together in this ritual and tracing back yet again to the Jesuit leadership. And we'll also get to how it's synced with the Pope, because of course the Pope is who the Jesuits serve. If you are watching the news tonight, you see how it said, when Hinckley shot Reagan, he paralyzed James Brady, which brought about the Brady Bill. If you were watching the news tonight when they were anticipating Trump, who came out and spoke at exactly 33 minutes after the hour, remember, reminding us of Governor Cox in Utah, who said it took 33 hours to get the shooter of Charlie Kirk. And it also reminds of JFK being shot in Dealey Plaza, named after a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. But yeah, Brady was left disabled and died 33 years later from his injuries. The reason I'm bringing this up is because tonight, if you were watching the news, they kept saying that Trump is going to speak about tonight's scare at the correspondence dinner in the Brady room. They kept saying it over and over, and I was just like, I mean, how do they get away with treating us like a bunch of know-nothings? I mean, everything is just such mockery, and it's so blatant, and it's so obvious. They're talking about how it's the same building Reagan got shot at all night. Trump's going to speak in the Brady room, not to mention. Anyway, D.C. is the Masonic city. Reagan, the 33rd governor, Trump out to speak 33 minutes after the hour on the nose. And they do this every time. I hate when some jackass says, oh, you think they really are like bringing him out at the specific time? Yeah, I do, you fucking moron. I've been exposing it for over a decade. get tired of everybody going like, what? How about just pay attention to the next one? Masonry, Drumpf, that's the Trump family name before they changed their name to the tarot cards. Police, false flag, teacher, Hilton, federal, secrecy, order, all 33 over and over and over and over. What's the Masonic headquarters address there in DC? 1733. Mason equals 17, Masonry 33.
All right. So I think that's enough. Zach tears it up. And every time one of these events happens, pretty much it's going to be exposed. All right. He's going to break it down, the gematria of it. And that's what it is. Right. Everything's gematria. So you could say, well, everything is gematria based. So you can come up with these numbers, you can play with these numbers, but you just saw that these numbers, when you look at all of them together, are, that's not something that they had to have planned it out, guys, right? Everything was planned out. And what is it leading to? What is it leading to? Is this Jesuit thing going to be taken down? It will be, because we're exposing it, right? Whether Trump's involved in that or whether we're going to do it, it's going to happen, right? Us being exposed to it, us bringing it out to the open like this, makes a huge difference. There's going to be people that are going to, just like I, broke down the Charlie Kirk assassination, I broke down the Butler PA assassination attempt. I broke all these things down, and you're going to continually see these events, and at some point we're going to be like, bullshit. Another one of those. Why do you guys keep doing that? We don't even care anymore, right? So that's where we need to get. But of course, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be butthurt that this is not the real thing. Right. And they're gonna resist. They're gonna be angry because they were fooled. And it's typical for human nature to attack the person that reveals an untruth to you quite often. Right. So this is where we're at with this false flag shooting. Again, you guys can do your own research. You can just totally discount all the evidence, all the professional observation skills, and just come to your own conclusion that this was real. It's up to you. And I'm not discounting or criticizing anybody that comes to that conclusion. It is, there's so many things out there right now that are manipulated and controlled. It's like, is there anything that's real at this point? Right? We are, all right. This video right now where I'm breaking this down, this is real. But there's a lot of things out there that's tragically still manipulated. Imagine the expense and the coordination and the people that are involved in doing this bullshit, right? So it's tragic, because all that energy, money, and time and effort could be utilized to do something very positive in the world. So I pray and hope that we get to that point sooner rather than later. And that's why I disclose this information, even though I know it's going to be painful for a lot of people. And when there's pain, there's backlash, right? So central casting, that's right, Janet. A lot of that going on there, a lot of it. And so we should be hearing from Trump about central casting. All right. So that's my take on that assassination attempt. All right. So come to your own conclusions. Do your own research. At this point, hopefully most of you are like, I knew it right from the beginning. It was bullshit. So like me. All right. I'm like, it's like with Charlie Kirk. I was doing a show when Charlie Kirk went down. Last night I was doing a show. And I didn't get to see any of that hokiness of that very grainy, video. of that guy running up the hall. It's like, why is it grainy? You don't have any more video? So it's, maybe we will eventually. Maybe they'll CGI it like they did the planes crashing into the buildings of 9/11. I don't know. But we're definitely under attack from this Jesuit control system. And we have to, expose it and eventually, I hope, destroy it and destroy it to the point where it never comes back again. All right. All right, guys. Lots of love. Stay in love vibration. And I'll see you guys next time.